Fred Swearengen's unit is he heads the officials. He is the referee. Fred is from Ohio University. Earl Mann ready to kick off to the Cleveland Browns. We're seconds away from the start of this ball game. Here to call it for you as usual is Gib Shanley.
Thank you, Jim Grainer. Good afternoon, everybody. Beautiful sunny day in Cleveland with Homer Jones and Tom Shane waiting for the kickoff. Shane has it 3 yards deep. He's coming out. Up the middle of the 5, 10, 15, 20. Hurdles a man and gets knocked down on the 24-yard line. Tackle made by Ed Mooney, a number 2 linebacker. Browns offensive unit moving out on the field. As Jim told you, Leroy Kelly got here about, maybe 4-1, 20-1 from his weekend obligation. Browns out of the huddle. In the I formation with Collins split right. They shift to the T. Collins now flank right. Hooker is split 7 yards to the left. Morin out a yard at right end. Fake handoff. Nelson stumbles, gets up, throws the ball incomplete in the left flat. And it saved a loss on the play by Bills getting up. He threw it in the area of Bo Scott, but I don't think he wanted to complete it. Second and 10. Again, the I formation. Collins split right. They shift to the T. Collins flank right. Hooker out 5 to the left. Morin out about a half yard on the right. Give to Kelly, left tackle, small hole, hits to the 29-yard line. Larry Hand on the stop. Picked up of about 5 on the play. It was the Browns' right tackle and the Detroit left tackle. And Hand, the man who made the tackle, plays defensive right end, so he had good pursuit on the play. 3rd and 5. Hooker, flank left. Collins out 5 to the right. Morin splits 2 at left end. Nelson to throw. Right sidelines, overthrown. Intended for Gary Collins at the 40. And the Lions had pretty good rush on that time. And I think made Nelson throw a little early before Gary got into his pattern. Browns will have to punt.
Knowing full well, or at least reasonably so, that they were going to pass, both their outside linebackers dropped back to cover the hook area on that particular play, although Gary did get free as he cut to the sideline. 40. Nick Eddy and Lem Barney in double safety at the 30. Don Cockroft to punt, low snap, but he has plenty of time. Beautiful kick. Oh! Barney back on the 22, dropped the ball. A pile up on the 20-yard line. I believe Freddie Summers has it. Cleveland got the ball. And Freddie Summers got it, Jeb.
Yep. A 54-yard punt. They may give him 4 yards on the return. The ball squirted out to about the 20.5. That's where it is now, almost the 20-yard line. Browns get a big break. And I think Barney was looking into the sun. They're in the I formation, shifting to the T now with Hooker flank left, Collins out 4 to the right. Morin splits about a yard at left end. Give to Kelly. Left tackle cuts back inside, chopped down on the 19-yard line. Good play by Dan Deutsch, the man who replaced Alex Karras. Deutsch, according to the Lions, had a very good exhibition season. Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9.
Not going to make it any easier with him in there and Alex Karras out, because he is 265 pounds, 6'4", and he's only 26 years old. He's very, very fast.
Now we'll have Hooker split far to the right and Collins slot to the right. Morin splits 2 at left end. 2nd down. Nelson hands to Kelly on the draw. Not much room. Hits down to the 15-yard line, to the 14. And luckily got that far. And there's a temper flare already. Robb and Newmoff are on the tackle. Robb is the one who was in there mixing it up with Kelly, and Robb is the one who used to mix it up with Jim Brown. In fact, both of them got thrown out of a game in St. Louis one year. That's 5 more yards on that play. It'll be third down, about 4.
We're just liable to see a lot of that this afternoon because the Browns also remember last year Mike Lucci was really played an outstanding game, but also an extremely tough customer.
Collins flank right, Hooker out 7 to the left. Moore now about 3 at right end. Nelson to throw. End zone to Collins. Touchdown! He beat Lem Barney.
We had our eye on Gary on that one because we suspected the post pattern. Once again, he does the shake to the outside, and Barney had him covered to the outside, did the fake, and then just went for the post.
It was perfectly thrown, but that one could have been thrown like a basketball because Gary left Barney at least 5 yards behind him. Pips holding now. Cockcroft to attempt the point. 11:31 remaining, first quarter. The snap, spot, kicks up, it's good. There's an official timeout on the field with the score. The Browns 7, the Lions nothing. 15-20.
Just 3.5 minutes into this ball game, and the Lions have not had the ball yet. Lem Barney fumbling the punt, then got beat by Gary Collins as the Browns cashed in. Freddie Summers recovered. They were able to score in 3 plays, 2 on the ground to Kelly and the pass to Collins. Here's Cockcroft's kickoff.
Nick Eddy is deep with Bobby Williams. A little short. Williams on the 3, 5, 10, right sidelines, 15. 20, down and out of bounds on about the 21-yard line. Hit first by Joe Jones and Freddie Summers. 18-yard return. Detroit's offense on the field for the first time at the 21-yard line.
Al Jenkins went in there and cut down about three of the Detroit Lions who were forming the wedge on that one.
Bill Munson is the quarterback. Algie Taylor is one of the running backs. And Mel Farr is in the ballgame as the other running back. Chuck Hughes now is split left. And Larry Walton is flanked to the right. Sanders, the slot end, is out about 2 yards on the right side. Starting on the 21-yard line. Munson back to throw. Left flat, drop, incomplete. Farr couldn't hold it at about the 19-yard line. See, that would have been interesting. Browns didn't have too many people out there in that area.
They sure didn't, and it's kind of unusual, although you see it a lot, but it's kind of hard to believe that a quarterback can't hit that flaring back because it's only a pass at 10 or 12 yards. But it is missed quite frequently.
Most of the time, the quarterback has to throw it over a lineman who's about 6'6".
It's usually never his primary receiver, too. He's always coming off of his primary receiver.
Again, Walden flank right. Hughes split about 7 at left end. Sanders again splits 2 on the right side. 2nd and 10. Munson throw again. Blitz on. He's hit as he throws deep in the middle, and it's incomplete. Overthrown up at midfield. Sanders, the intended receiver. Kellerman had him covered beautifully. And the Browns defensive line unloaded on Munson. The blitz helped with the line getting through.
That'll give you an idea of this Chuck Sanders, whom the Browns haven't seen too much of, although he is a 3-year veteran from Minnesota. He's ranked high as far as Blanton Collier goes. But you notice on that one, Gibb, he was deep. He went from the 20 down to the 50-yard line. It's unusual to go 30 yards for a tight end.
And he's fast. Walton now is flank left. Hughes out about 3 at right end. And Sanders tight on the left side. 3rd and 10. Munson rolling out to his left, drills one to the sidelines and throws it out of bounds into the Browns bench. The intended receiver was Walden, but he was covered very well by Sumner, and the Lions will have to punt.
He had great coverage on him, and I think Munson just threw that one away, too, because had he pegged for his receiver, I think Walt would have intercepted that, and that was right over here in the sideline.
Herman Weaver, a rookie, will be punting for Detroit. He's standing on the 5. The deep men are Walt Sumner and Tom Shane. Sumner at midfield, Shane all the way back to the Browns' 30. Good snap. Kick is a bad one. Short one. Hits on the Browns' 45, but takes a Detroit bounce to the 40, to the 35, and will roll out of bounds on the 33-yard line. Ed Mooney there to make sure it went out of bounds. A 46-yard punt. No return. 10:32 remaining. In the first quarter, there's an official timeout on the field to score. The Browns 7, the Lions nothing. Browns out of the huddle in the I formation, shifting to the T, starting on their own 33. Collins flank to the right. Hooker's out 5 at left end. Give to Bo Scott, trying to sweep left end. Cuts back inside, 35 to the 40-yard line, and a pickup of about 7 yards. And the Browns' running game is off to a pretty good start here in the first quarter. Leroy Kelly led the blocking. Jerry Rush made the tackle.
Browns must establish this running game because they rank way, way down as far as the National Football League teams are concerned in their runners, and this isn't a typical Brown offense.
A little surprised the Lions didn't run the first series, but it was very early. They may be setting up something. Collins flank to the right. Morin's out 2 at right end. Hooker's out about 4 at left end. Flip to Kelly, running to the weak side, cuts around the corner, 45, breaks the tackle, 50, he's to the 40, 35, couldn't get the last block and got knocked out of bounds. Down on the 36-yard line of Detroit. Hooker was out in front, but Kelly didn't give him a chance to get in the block, and Waker knocked him out of bounds. Rasmussen, the other safety, was the man that Kelly knocked to the ground when he broke that tackle. 24-yard run.
Really surprised him. As you mentioned, Gib, he went to the weak side, and he went also to the short side of the field, and I believe that's what threw the Lions.
Collins, flank right. Morin, tight at right end. Hooker splits 5 at left end. 1st and 10. Give to Kelly. He's going to throw it. He's looking. Now he's going to have to run with the ball to the 35 and gets just about a yard on the play. Collins was covered very well by Barney. Rush and Robb are the 2 who made the tackle. Gain of about a yard, 2nd and 9.
Wasn't quite give the necessary deception on that option play, I think, because as soon as Kelly got it, he started fading back, and then the Lions knew that this was going to be the pass option.
And the I. Now shift to the T. Collins, flank right. Hooker splits 10 at left end. Nelson to throw. Screen on the left. Intercepted back on the 43-yard line by Hand. He's going to the 30, to the Browns 20, to the 10. 5 touchdown Detroit. A 57-yard run by defensive end Larry Hand on an interception on his screen pass. Well, that'll tie it in a hurry. Boy, Hand was right behind Bo Scott. Just sneaked in. Nobody near him all the way for the touchdown. That comes with 8:51 remaining in the first quarter. Now the point try coming by Errol Mann, Rasmussen holding at the 10. Spot kicks up. It's good. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Browns 7, the Lions 7.
WHK thanks you for joining us for another Cleveland Browns broadcast.
It isn't the only one who has intercepted a pass for a touchdown today. Logan of Baltimore intercepted and ran 31 against the New York Jets, and O'Brien has a 28-yard field goal. Baltimore up on the Jets, who have lost 3 by a score of 10-0 first period, and the Lions are right back in on that 57-yard interception and touchdown run by Larry Hand. Probably, and we're just guessing, probably his first. We're now at 8:51 of the first period, and it's all tied up. And here's Earl Mann's second kickoff of the afternoon.
Tom Shane and Homer Jones back at the goal line. Pretty well hit. Homer Jones coming up now after at the 5, 10, right sideline, 15, 20, 25. He's to the 30, 35, down on the 37-yard line. Good return. Bill Cottrell made the tackle, 33-yard return out to the 37-yard line. Charlie Brown helped on it. Browns in a 7-7 score first quarter. Well, a Detroit fumble helped the Browns score, and an interception gave the Lions a score. Collins split 5 right. Hooker flank left. Morin out a yard at left end. Give to Bo Scott over left guard to the 40, to the 41. Flag dropped. Rush making the tackle. Appears to be against the Lions, a small one, and the Browns will take 5 yards. 42. And the referee says it's for offside. First down and 5. In the stacked I formation, both ends split about 3. They shift to the T now. A flood formation left. Hooker, Morin, and Scott all out to the left. Give to Kelly. Flag down. He hits left guard to the 45-yard line. Referee threw a flag. Robb made the tackle. This one appears to be against the Browns.
Might be an illegal procedure.
Well, it's going to be 10 yards. It's going to be first and 10 all over again. Backfield in motion.
Kelly jumps.
8:15 to play, first quarter, 7-7 score. Collins and Hooker both split. Now they shift out of the I. Again, a flood formation to the left. Scott is out on the wing. Nelson throws. Morin can't get it. Tried a one-hand grab at the 40-yard line. Incomplete, covered by Rasmussen. It'll be second and 10.
Zonka from the 4-yard line, and Miami goes up 7-0 over Buffalo. And the Giants lead Boston 3-0.
Browns come out of the huddle. They're on their own 37. Hooker flanks left. Collins out 4 to the right. Morin out about a yard at left end. Nelson gives to Kelly on a trap. He's knocked down on the 39. Just couldn't get away from Mike Lucci, the middle linebacker, who grabbed him at the ankle. It'll be about 3rd and 8.
3rd down, 8.
They had the hole for Kelly on that one, Gib, and if he eludes Lucci, he's got a pickup of close to a first down because it looked like he had room for 7 or 8 yards.
Now the Lions take out 2 linebackers, put in 2 defensive backs. There's 6 defensive backs in their prevent defense. Hooker flank left. Nelson back to throw. He drills it deep in the middle. It is incomplete, off the hands of Milt Morin on the Detroit 39-yard line, and he was open. Lucci, the other linebacker, the only one that was left in the game, was all the way back in that hook zone, right where Milt was, past midfield. The Browns will have to punt again.
Gib, that was something to see as the 2 outside receivers plus Milt Morin, all 3 of them had double coverage.
Cocker off the punt. Lem Barney and Nick Eddy back in double safety between the 15 and the 20, and we'll get a break after this punt. High end-over-end kick. Fair catch called for by Eddy. Holds it on the 23-yard line. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Cleveland Browns Football Network.
This is WHK 1420 Cleveland, where you can follow the Browns with Coach Blanton Collier every afternoon at 5:30 and mornings at 8:35.
Lions starting play on the 23-yard line. Off a 39-yard punt. Walton flank left. Hughes out 7 to the right. Munson hands the ball over to Farr, right tackle, 25, that's all. Walter Johnson sealed that hole in a hurry and made the tackle. Also on it, Snido. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. That's the first running play, other than Hand running 57 yards on the interception. Walton will flank left. Hughes splits 5 to the right. Sanders out a half yard at left end. Munson hands off on the draw to Farr, up the middle, 30, down on the 36. That'll be a first down. Kellerman on the tackle, 11-yard pickup. That's the first down for Detroit.
Roger Scholes threw a nice block on Jim Houston, which sprung him loose. Baltimore up 17-0 already, first period.
Walton flank right. Hughes splits 10 at left end. Sanders out a couple at right end. Munson back to throw. Blitz on. He's hit as he unloads deep. It is caught by Walton at the 25 of the Browns. He's pulled down from behind by Erich Barnes at the 9-yard line. Caught the Browns in the blitz that time, and a beautiful throw for 57 yards to the 8-yard line.
Boy, that was a pretty throw, Gib. I think down on the field, as you can see these flags in the end zone, that he does have the wind behind him. And also, the sun is not in his face when he is going towards it like that because he's looking over his shoulder.
Right. 56 yards. They were on the 36 when the play started. Well, now the Lions threaten to go on top for the first time. Walton is a wing back to the left. Hughes splits 5 to the right. Munson hands the ball to Albie Taylor over left tackle to the 5 to the 4-yard line, driven down. On the stop, Kellerman, Shirk, Mike Howell on it. Lions making a change. Hughes is going out. Craig Cotton is in. 2 slot ends in the Detroit lineup. Second and goal on the 4. Walton will be flanked to the right. The ends are in. Give to Farr, trying to find a hole at left tackle to about the 2-yard line and chopped down by Jerry Shirk. Now the Browns are sending in Joe Jones and Bob Maverson to help on the goal line unit as Kellerman and Sumner come out. Third and goal on the 2. Ball on about the 1.5. Now they're lining up in the I with Walton flanked to the right. Bill Munson. Whoop, offside. And a pass in the right flat to Taylor for a touchdown. And I believe the Browns were offsides, and I'm sure they were not pulled off, so it's a touchdown for Detroit, a 2-yard pass. Munson to Taylor, and the Lions lead for the first time in the game with 3:12 to play in the first quarter. Errol Mando attempts the point, and Wayne Rasmussen will hold. There's the spot. Kick is up, and it is good. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, Detroit 14, Cleveland 7.
Nothing is less fun than having bills to pay, unless it's having bills you can't pay. And this can happen, believe me, no matter how careful you are. Maybe you've got that problem right now. If you have, come on in and see the people at Household Finance. Sure, they say never borrow money needlessly, but HFC helps over 2.5 million families every year, and 1 out of every 3 has a bill problem like yours. So why not let Household help you, too?
A good reason for borrowing is a good reason for lending. And the good place to borrow is Household Finance.
For a large or small loan, visit the household office nearest you. There are 18 offices in the Cleveland area. See your phone book for the addresses.
James and Jones, 3 for the Browns.
Browns broke on top. We're moving for a second touchdown until Hand intercepted and went 57 yards. And then the long pass over Erich Barnes to Larry Walton. All of a sudden, the Lions are ahead. 3:12 remaining first period, 14-7 ball game.
Errol Mann to kick off to either Tom Shane or Homer Jones. It's going to Homer Jones on the 7. 10, left sidelines, 20, 25. Oh, did he get hit hard on the 29-yard line? Oh, did he get hit by Cottrell? 22-yard return. Ball on the 29. Browns trailing now for the first time in the game. Out of the huddle. Collins, flank right. They're in the I. Oh, they're in the T now. Hooker out 4 at left end. Give to Kelly, sweeping right end. Cuts outside. Gets about a yard on the play. Chopped down close to the 32-yard line. Make it about a 3-yard pickup. Mike Lucci led the tackling. They ran that play right out of bounds. Joe Robb helped on it.
So far, the Lions have not gone with a 4-man line at all. They have at least one linebacker up on the line, sometimes 2. The outside linebacker on the left side here, Paul Nomuth, is one that usually goes up.
Hooker flanks to the left. Collins out 4 to the right. Morin out a half yard at left end. Nelson to throw. Screen on the left to Bo Scott at the 25. He's to the 30. 35 out of bounds. Up on the 37-yard line by Wayne Rasmussen and Dick LeBeau. It'll be 3rd and about 2.5. That's about 6-yard pickup.
What I think they're doing, Gib, they're putting that outside linebacker, whoever it is, on the depending upon where Milt Morin lines up, the strong side, and the outside linebacker is giving Milt Morin the slot end to push right at the line of scrimmage, and they're throwing him off. So they're putting the linebacker on, and then, of course, the strong side safety picks him up when he goes deep.
Collins flank to the right. Morin tight at right end. Hooker out 5 at left end. Hand off to Bo Scott on the draw. He's nailed on the 38. Did not get a first down. The Lions stack it up. Refused to call for it. Goich led the tackling. The Browns will punt again. Nick Eddy and Lem Barney again back in double safety. 1.5 remaining, first quarter. And the Lions lead by 7. Cockcroft standing on the 23. Beautiful high spiral. Fair catch called for by Eddy. Holds it on the 14-yard line. A 46-yard punt, no return. And the Lions start play deep in their territory in the 14.
You were there last Monday, Gib, when we were talking to Nick Skorich because we were discussing Tom Shane's fair catching inside the 10, and Nick said that when you're inside the 10, they tell him not to fair catch it. You assume that they hope that the ball will bounce in the end zone. Outside the 10, you're to fair catch it.
And the Lions have Walton flanked to the right. Hughes split 7 at left end. Sanders out a yard at right end. Give to Farr. Trying to cut outside the tackle, gets to the 20-yard line. Barnes on the stop. He started to run left and then ran back to the right. It looked as though it was a play. Lindsey making the tackle. 6-yard pickup.
Yepremian, a 39-yard field goal. Miami, the Browns' next week's opponents, up on Buffalo 10-0.
Walden flanks to the left. Hughes splits 5 at right end. This might be the last play of the first period. Sanders out a half yard at left end. Handoff comes to Taylor. He's nailed as he tries to cut outside left end at the 19-yard line. Gregory and Andrews stack it up for about a yard loss. There's the gun. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Lions 14, the Browns 7.
3rd and 5. The Lions have the ball on their own 19-yard line, leading by 7 as we start the second quarter. The Philadelphia Eagles up on the Cardinals by a 7-0 count, and the Lions out of the huddle.
3rd down, 5 to go. Hughes splits 7 to the left. Walton flanked to the right. Now Taylor moves up as a slot left. Pitch to Farr, turning right in. Slips and goes down on the 21. It's a good thing he did. Kellerman and Johnson then hit him. But he was picking up some momentum. And he had Gallagher out in front of him. They blocking the pulling guard on the play, and Freitas, the right tackle, also out there. So the Lions will have to punt. Second time they'll kick it. Herm Weaver to do the punting. Walt Sumner and Tom Shane in double safety. Sumner at the 50, Shane dropping back to the Browns' 30. Now the Browns will be looking into the sun this quarter. Good snap. Kick is high, away. Shane chasing to the right for it, lets it hit. Takes a Cleveland bounce up to the 45 of the Browns, up to the 48-yard line. A hit down on about the 43. And Bob Kowalkowski is the man who grounded it. A 30-yard punt, no return. Browns starting play on their own 48 with good field position. Browns huddling on their 35. Hooker is flying to the left. Collins out 5 to the right. Morin splits about 1.5 yards at left end. Nelson to throw. Right sidelines Collins. Got it. Flag down. As Collins goes out of bounds on the 45, on the Detroit 45, the flag is down on the Detroit 20 and away from the play. It's a 7-yard pickup. It's against Cleveland. No, they're talking to Bill Nelson. Now it's against Detroit.
I didn't even see who was in that area. I was watching Gary Collins on the far side as he was flanked out right.
Fair Hooker was nearest the flag. Well, they're going to take the penalty because they got a first down. They lost a yard or so on the... But get the first down, which is most important. That's for defensive holding. 5 yards, first down. Now Hooker flanks left. Collins out 4 to the right. Morin splits a 1/2 yard at left end. Give to Kelly, trying to sweep the end. Trapped in the backfield. Slips and goes down on the 49 of Detroit. Rasmussen fell on him then. Hand is the man who touched him. But Kelly slipped and fell. So it's a loss of 2, 2nd and 12.
Rasmussen is the strong side safety for the Lions, so he covers Milt Morin, and he was on that side because it was a strong left formation for the Browns.
Kelly is 39 yards net right now. 8 carries. Collins flanked right. Morin out 2 to the right. Hooker out 4 to the left. Hand off to Bo Scott, left tackle, not much daylight, and he gets knocked out of bounds at the line, the original line of scrimmage, the 47. So he gets back to the 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 10. Rasmussen and Walker on the tackle. And again, the Lions send in 2 defensive backs, pull out the 2 outside linebackers for their prevent, 3rd and 10. 6 defensive backs in there.
They're a tough defensive ball club. They rank next to the Minnesota Vikings, 2nd best in the league, and their front 4, with Alex Karras in there, and he isn't in there now, has been together for quite some time, and they're tough. Goitz is in there for Karras.
Collins flanked right, Hooker out 5 to the left, Morin out 2 to the right. Nelson to throw, blitz on, he's hit. He'd lost the ball back on the 40-yard line. Pile up. Detroit gets the ball on a fumble as the Hand is the man who hit him. He's the one who intercepted the screen pass a while ago. Mike Lucci recovered the ball.
Gosh, that even wasn't on his blind side, so to speak. It was, except Bill Nelson had his back to him. He just couldn't possibly have seen him out of the corner of his eye at all. He was facing directly north, and Hand came in from the south.
Hughes is split left now. Walton slot left. Sanders tied it right in. Starting in the Browns, 40. Munson gives to Taylor, right tackle, no hole, 39, that's about it. Got a yard on the play. Ron Snido, Walter Johnson, Erich Barnes, all plug up the hole. 2nd and 9. Taylor is 4 yards. Farr has 24. And we have 12 minutes to play in the half. Detroit leading 14-7. Hughes has split 7 at left end. Walton flank to the right. Munson to throw. Back. Left flat. Pass caught by Farr. Breaks away at the 40, 30, 25. He got away from Billy Andrews just on his plate. Got knocked out of bounds on the 26-yard line. First down pickup of 13 yards.
Farr, in his first year as a rookie, was the #1 draft choice. He led the club in both rushing and receiving. And that's just like giving a swing pass to Leroy Kelly. You get a man of Farr's capabilities on the outside, no linebacker is going to bring him down one-on-one, which Billy Andrews couldn't.
Walton is flank left. Hughes out about 10 at right end. Munson dumps it again in the right flat, and Farr drops it, picks it up. They're letting him run with the ball.
They're calling it a lateral.
They're calling it a lateral and letting him go out of bounds at the 9-yard line. I don't think there's any question that was a forward pass. Now they're going to call it back. There's no question that was thrown forward.
Yeah, but I thought the last week, if any of the fans were here and saw that pass to Bo Scott, I thought that was a lateral, and they call that a forward pass. And as you say, this has to be a forward pass.
The Lions aren't saying too much, and you know why? Because that's supposed to be a forward pass thrown forward. There's no question about it. The referee is not the man who called that play. He said, I think it's a lateral, and got all the way down to the 9 before another official corrected him. It is 2nd down and 10. Hughes out 5 to the left. Walton will flank right. Sanders tight at right end. Munson backpedaling the pass. Flag down. He throws in the left flat again to Farr. Hit at the 24, down on the 23-yard line by Walt Sumner. There's a flag dropped on the play, a 4-yard pickup, and it appears to be against Detroit.
Might be a big one. They're going way back. It's an offensive penalty, and he's marking off 15 yards, and it's coming all the way back to the 42.
The down remains the same. It's holding from the spot of the foul out to the 42. It is 2nd down, 26 to go. Eagles lead the Cardinals 10-7, 2nd quarter. That's a bit of a surprise. Hughes is split 10 to the right. Walton flanks to the left. Munson back to pass. Throws in the right flat, one-handed grab by Farr at the 45. He's nailed on the 44-yard line. Andrews slowed him up. Lindsey and Shirk made the tackle. Nice one-handed grab by Farr. But it's a loss of 2 yards.
And Dale Lindsey on that play went over to give Erich Barnes help on covering Larry Walton, who caught the long pass over Erich Barnes, and then he had to recover after they realized that he wasn't going to go to Walton to come in and get that screen to Farr.
3rd down, 28 yards to go for the first down. Bill Triplett from Miami of Ohio has replaced Mel Farr as a running back. Walton flanks right. Hughes out 8 to the left. Sanders out 2 at right end. Munson back to throw. Sets. He's hit as he fires deep. It is incomplete on the 7. And a big pile up for the ball as Kellerman, Lindsey, Howell went up for the Browns, all against Hughes. That's Walton.
Here comes Earl Mann, Gib. They're going to go for a long field goal. This has got to be 50 or 51. Bill Triplett was open on that. He was the running back just went in, but Munson was going to go deep. He had to go long because he had to get down at least the 16-yard line for first down. Here's your field goal attempt.
51 yards. Rasmussen holding. Mike Howells back in single safety. Kick is up. Oh, it hit the crossbar and it went over. It hit the crossbar and went over. We have a flag dropped on the play, but I believe it's against the Browns. It is. They're calling the Lions in. I believe it's roughing the kicker. That ball hit the crossbar and bounced over. It is good. Get the signal now from the referee. That's it. Roughing the kicker, declined. It's good. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Lions 17, the Browns 7.
That is Earl Mann's 7th field goal in this young season. He has 10 attempts. He's 7 out of 10, and he had a 50-yarder earlier. Not earlier in this game, but earlier in the season. And now he adds a 51-yarder to that one.
And he will kick off to either Tom Shane or Homer Jones at the goal line. Kicked very high and short. Homer Jones at the 8, 10. He's hit, gets away at the 20, and is going to be stopped. Hit at the 18, got to the 20, and then got knocked back. Mooney led the tackling. Cottrell again on it. 12-yard return. Browns led 7-0, now trail 17-7.
And they've given the ball up twice, once on an interception, it went all the way for a touchdown, the other time on a fumble.
Per Hooker is flanked to the left. Jerry Collins splits 5 at right end. Milt Morin splits a yard at left end. Give to Kelly, hitting left tackle. Not much of a hole. Fights for yardage to the 25-yard line. Dick Shaprath and Gene Hickerson finally were able to clear enough out of there. Hand made the tackle along with Newmoff. It's a pickup of 5, second and 5 on the 25. Nine and a half minutes to play, second quarter.
Cardinals now have gone up on the Eagles, give 14-10.
Hooker is flank left. Morin splits 2 at left end. Collins out 5 to the right. Nelson throws in the middle. Caught by Morin at the 30. And a flag as Morin is hit after he was knocked down on the ground. Lucci knocked him down, and then, no, Lucci's the man who hit him last. Walker got him down first, and then Lucci hit him secondly, and that's what the official said is a violation. It'll be 15 yards on the personal foul. It was Lucci and Morin that got into it last year here. Ball is out to the Browns' 47-yard line on the personal foul and the completion. Collins flanked to the right. Hooker out 4 at left end. Milt Morin splits a yard at right end. Flip to Scott, trying to turn the corner. Gets it to the 50 and is upset at the 45 and knocked out of bounds on about the 42-yard line of Detroit. A good run by Bo. Lem Barney made the tackle. Rush almost got him back in midfield. He had him by the shirt, but Bo pulled away from him. We'll get a measurement now.
Going to be close, and the crew is on the south end of the field, had to go way over on the other side. They're leaving the ball right on the sideline. The Browns picked it up. Bo Scott made it to the 42, a first down.
Mike Lucci is one of those athletes who gets fired up for a game, and if you meet him outside after the game or during the week, he's a very personable young man with a ready smile. You'd never know that on Sunday he'd like to knock your brains out.
I'll tell you, he's a tough basketball player, too, Gib. You remember when he was with the Browns and he played on the Browns basketball team? He played basketball like football.
They had a few near riots. Collins is split left. Hooker now is the slot back to the left. First and 10. Give to Kelly. Up over left guard. No hold. Knocked down at the 42-yard pickup. Jerry Rush, the right tackle. Ben Goich, the left tackle. On the stop, Mike Lucci helped on it. Second and 8. Get a break after this play. Hooker flanking to the left. Moran splits 2 to the left. Collins out 5 to the right. Nelson to throw. It is caught by...
Like they're going to decline it.
Well, with the ball down around the 23, it doesn't make much difference. If they take the 5, they're still in field goal range, theoretically. They would just as soon now deprive the Browns of a down. 2nd and 10. Hooker flanks to the left. Moran out 2 at left end. Collins a 5-yard split at right end. Give to Bo Scott a hold of a right tackle with the 20. He's upset, lost his footing, and got knocked down on the 16. If he had not lost his footing, Bo might have gone all the way. It's good for a 7. Goitz and Newmoff made the stop at the 16-yard line. It'll be 3rd down, 3. About 3.5.
Boy, all of a sudden he had a hole there. Somebody did a good job of blocking her. Perhaps a missed assignment on the part of the Lions.
Browns huddling. Trailing by 10, second quarter. 6:42 to play. They're out of the huddle. Hooker will flank left. Moran splits 2 at left end. Collins a 5-yard split at right end. Barney's right up on the line with Collins. Nelson to throw against the blitz. Hooker open, 5-yard line, touchdown. Dick LeBeau was beaten on the play. Collins had beaten Barney on the play on the right side of the end zone, and the play of defense was a blitz by middle linebacker Mike Lucci, but he never got close to Nelson. It was a quick release, a short pattern, and Hooker just waltzed in. 6:28 remaining, second quarter. Cockroft to attempt the point. Phipps holding, spot, kicks up, good. There's an official timeout on the field. With the score, the Lions 17, the Browns 14.
$80 yards and 8 plays for the Browns, helped considerably by a 15-yard personal foul called against Mike Lucci, who had brought it up to midfield. And the Browns right back in. They're still down, however, by the 51-yard field goal.
Larry Walton and Nick Eddy are deep. That's well hit. Walton 5-6 yards deep will stay there with it. And the Lions will put the ball in play at the 20-yard line. 6:23 remaining.
Baltimore up on the New York Jets by a score of 20-3.
Walton is flanked to the left. Hughes out about 7 at right end. Triplett is the other running back in there now with Taylor. Pass in the right flat. It is dropped by Taylor. Lindsey covering. He's going to run with it. He fought. We picked it up. If that's a lateral, that was 4 yards in front of the quarterback. Second and 10. Walton flanks right. Hughes out 7 at left end. Sanders tight at right end. Give to Triplett on the draw. He's caught at the line by Johnson, and he's nailed right on the line of scrimmage. Walter Johnson got him by one leg, and Shirk batted him down to the ground. 3rd and 10 coming. The Lions' running game in 9 carries totals 28 yards. The Browns in 15 carries total 73. Hughes will be split right by 7 yards. Walton flank left. Sanders out a yard at left end. The fans yelling now for the Browns defense to do something. 3rd and 10. Munson back to throw. He drills it deep to the left sidelines, and it is caught by Walton on the 45 of the Browns. He went out of bounds on the 40. That saved a touchdown. Munson just threw that one up in the air, and Walton ran under it. And he just got under it. A beautiful completion, 40 yards, all the way down to the Browns' 40, and if he hadn't stepped out of bounds, he'd have had 7.
And Munson was talking to the referee because he really got belted by Walter Johnson. Walter was coming on fast, and Munson unloaded the ball, and Johnson kept coming and really unloaded on Munson.
I have to admit, that was a beautiful throw. That almost brought rain. Put it up very high. Now Walton's a slot left. Farr is a wing back to the left. Walton slot right. Flip to Taylor, turning left end, 40, 35, 33, close to the 32. Sumner on the tackle. Mike Howell helped on it. Ron Snido. That's good for 8. 2nd and 2. Lions on the move. They had a 3rd and 10 on their 20. Gambled with a long one and hit it. They've hit 2 long ones. Walton is flanked to the left. Hughes split 8 to the right. Sanders tight at left end. Give to Farr, right tackle, 30, 28, first down, Detroit. Howell on the tackle with Dale Lindsey. That's good for 4 yards. First down on the Cleveland 28-yard line. Now the Lions running game is starting to move. And, of course, Detroit is in the field goal range. I would think so. They hit one from 51. Hughes is split left. Walton slot left. Farr is a wing back to the right. Munson to throw. Hit as he unloads. Deep again. End zone. Touchdown, Walton. He outjumped 2 of the Browns. Walton outjumped Mike Howell and Ernie Kellerman for the touchdown. "28-yard touchdown pass."
Just before he caught that, it looked like Kellerman was in a great spot to intercept. I thought he was going to intercept it in the end zone. Boy, did he go high. Mind you, Paul Warfield.
That Walton's starting to kill the Browns. Errol Manns would attempt the point. Rasmussen holding. Here's the kick. It's up. It's good. Well, the Lions go back on top by 10 points, 24-14. Jim, we're going to trip Walton or something.
Well, this Larry Walton is really, he goes on either side. It just isn't Erich Barnes he's beaten. He flip-flops over on either left or right. And he's beaten Barnes, he's beaten Walt Sumner, and then beat Ernie Kellerman and Mike Howell. So actually he's beaten all 4 of the defensive backs. Miami over Buffalo 13-0. Giants over Boston 10-0. The Cardinals now lead Philadelphia 21-10. And Baltimore, as we mentioned, over the Jets 20-3. All those games in the first and or second period. This one now has 4 minutes and 9 seconds remaining, and the Lions with a 10-point lead. The Browns led 7-0. The Lions came back with 17 straight before the Browns got their second touchdown, and now they, on a 28-yard pass from Munson to Walton, they're back on top by 10. They moved that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays. They moved 80 yards in 6 plays. The Browns took 8, but Munson had 2 big passes, both going to Walton, one for 40 yards and one for 24. So he's having quite a day for himself. 3 catches, 124 yards. Munson is 5 out of 12 for 137.
Homer Jones and Tom Shane waiting for the kick by Mann. It's short. Homer's under it. Got it on the 7, 10, right sidelines, 15, 20. Oh, did he get hit hard. Right around the rib section, on the 22-yard line.
No wonder Walton's so fast. He's from Arizona State.
Bill Cottrell again on it. Ball on the Browns' 22-yard line. Fair Hooker will flank left. Milt Morin tight at left end. Gary Collins splits 4 at right end. Give to Kelly. trying to sweep left end. Can't get the corner turn, and he's hit down at the line of scrimmage by Larry Hand, the defensive right end. And Leroy lost a shoe. He'll have to come out for a play, I think. Reese Morrison coming in to replace him. 2nd and 10. 3:10 remaining, first half. Detroit leading 24-14. Collins flanked to the right. Morin out 1 at right end. Hooker out 7 at left end. Nelson to throw. It is intercepted. There's trouble. Wager on the 26 to the 20 to the 10-5. Touchdown, Detroit. Mike Wager, a 29-yard touchdown interception. That's 2 of them in the first half now for Detroit. $29 yards. The other one went for 57.
Bill's mad at himself. Bill Nelson comes to the sidelines talking to Mike Scorch. Just ripped his helmet off.
Extra point by Mann is up, and it is good. Well, the score now is 31-14. The Browns really have a full load cut out for them.
Nick Scorch now is still talking to Bill Nelson on it, and he's down on the sidelines this year, as you all know. There is a discussion down on the field now. Illegal procedure called against the Browns. And naturally it's declined. The extra point is good, and all of a sudden it's a 31-14 ball game. 2:44 remaining in the first half. So the Browns will have to pull themselves together, as the Lions have come up with 2 touchdowns in a period of less than a minute and 30 seconds. Chicago Bears will be the Detroit Lions opponent next Sunday. The Lions will close down a 3-game road trip. They were in Washington last week, lost their first game. And the Browns will be going to Miami. Their next home game is 2 weeks from today against the San Diego Chargers. That's on the 1st of November. The real man gets the ball now and will be kicking off. Browns have a little less than 3 minutes to try to get something working for them. 2 interceptions, Larry Hand and Mike Wager from Bowling Green.
Errol Mann to kick off. That's pretty well hit. Homer Jones going back. The ball hits in the end zone, goes out of the end zone. The Browns will put the ball in play on the 20-yard line. .239 remaining. Well, the bleacherites booing Bill Nelson. I guess it'll make him feel better, but
doesn't take him long, does it, Gib?
no.
They'll be cheering if he'd happen to hit one now.
Well, I'm sure they're all perfect in their professions, if they have any. Collins flanked to the right. Morin out 2 to the right. Hooker out 10 at left end. Fake handoff. Nelson to throw. Drills it deep. Out of incomplete at the 45-yard line. Now somebody ran a wrong pattern.
Had Fair Hooker split out to the left, and he was crossing over to his right. Gary Collins came down and did his post pattern to the center, and Nelson threw it to the sideline, the right sideline. So perhaps Gary was to cut to his right, or perhaps Bill thought that Fair Hooker should have been farther. I don't know. Those things you only find out after you talk to them. Cardinals up on the Eagles now, 21-10.
Baltimore is ahead 20-5.
Maitland of Baltimore was tackled in the end zone.
Kelly on the draw. 20, 25, down on the 30-yard line, hit by Rasmussen. And Leroy's shoe started to come off again. And he's going to come off again to get it fixed. Like the basketball player for the Buffalo team in the NBA. Emmett Bryant lost his shoe 3 times in one game. Leroy must have watched the game. First and 10, the ball is just a shade over the 30. We're coming to the 2-minute warning. There it is. There's an official timeout on the field with the score. The Lions 31 and the Browns 14.
All right, on that 2-minute timeout, Roy Kelly went over the sideline, got his equipment adjusted, and now is back into the ball game. Reese Morrison coming out. At 2 minutes, the Browns have the ball on their own 30, first and 10. And trail 31-14, as you know.
Collins will flank right. Morin splits 3 at right end. Bo Scott is a slot back to the right. And Hooker's out 5 at left end. Give to Kelly. Left guard and tackle. Not much of a hole. Hits the 33-yard line. Pick up a 3 on the play. Goich and hand on the tackle. Timeout Cleveland. Stops the clock. 1:53 to play.
There was a high school team, Gib, that got 2 safeties over the weekend. It was Canton Central Catholic. They lost the game 6-4 to Walsh. Very unusual. Walsh beat them. However, I noticed in the paper that Walsh purposely took the second one to get out from probably deep in their own territory, which is a smart thing. I remember Otto Graham used to do that. I think he did it a couple times during his career, which you'll see it frequently.
Well, this band plays a lot down here, doesn't it? Every time they blow a whistle, the band, they must be getting paid by the note. Chip Glass has replaced Milt Morin for the Browns, and the Lions send in 2 extra defensive backs. Mike Lucci's the only linebacker down there on the field.
1 minute 53 remaining.
Second down and about 7 for the Browns on their own 33. Trailing 31-14, not yet the half. Collins flank to the right. Hooker out 5 at left end. Glass out 2 at right end. Nelson to throw. In the middle. It's intercepted on the 40-yard line by Lucci to the 35 and down on the 34-yard line. Glass hit him. Well, the Lions get the ball again. 6-yard return on the interception. That's the 3rd interception. Lions will, of course, try to get the ball in for something, at least a touchdown. Now they're going to call time and stop the clock with 1:42 remaining in the half. I'm trying to remember the last time Bill had 3 intercepted.
I don't recall it, but if you're thinking about it, Jim Hardy of Chicago Cardinals had 8 intercepted in one ball game. We won't discuss that any further. On the 34-yard line, Jim mentioned Earl Mann is now in a position to kick a field goal if the Detroit Lions so desire and can't move it in this minute and 42 seconds from their own 34 into the Browns' end zone. They've come up with 17 points in this second period, led 14-7 after the first period. As you know, the Browns have been able to defeat the Detroit Lions just once in regular season play in 8 ball games, and that was in 1964 when they went all the way. Last year, at halftime, the Browns were up 14 points, 21-7, and the Lions came and pulled it out 28-21.
Lions have Walton the slot right. Now Triplett is a wing back to the left. Hughes a split right. Munson's going to throw it. He drills. It is deep. That one's caught, and that's a touchdown by Walton. And he had 3 of the Browns covering him.
Incredible, because there were 3 Browns on him, and it looked like Mike Howe was right in front of it, moving over to intercept.
Nobody looked up for the ball. And again, that was a high throw that just floated down. Hard to believe. It looks a little bit like that the passes that Joe Kapp threw last year up in Minnesota in that regular season game. 1:34 remaining. Rasmussen holding. Errol Mann to kick. Score is a little unbelievable right now. There's the point. It's up. It's good. The Lions lead 38-14, and we're still not in halftime yet.
And all of a sudden, 24 points in this second half reminds us of the Vikings a couple of years ago and last year and the Green Bay Packers. All of a sudden, the Browns' defense is completely falling apart. I don't know whether Mike Howell, the sun got in his eyes or not on that one, because certainly they had Walton covered on that one, and Mike seemed to be drifting over right in front of him and just I was going to say, here's an interception for the Cleveland Browns. And all of a sudden, he may have lost that in the sun. However, Walton didn't lose it in the sun, so we're not trying to make excuses. Well, it's a 24-point spread for the Lions. And a dejected sideline, as you can well imagine, as Nick Skorich and Blanton Collier are now discussing things, and you can have a general idea what they're discussing. How can we stop this?
Walton's averaging 40 yards on his 4 catches today, almost. 4 catches, 158 yards. Lions have scored 3 times in the last little over 2 minutes. Here's a short kick taken by Bob Matheson on the 20 to about the 30-yard line. And a temper flare upfield on about the 44-yard line. Everybody's Lem Barney of Detroit and Ken Brown of the Browns. The Browns going without a huddle now. 1:25 remaining. Collins split 5 to the right. Hooker flank left. Flag down. Nelson to throw. Screen in the left flat. Bo Scott 25-30. 35-39 yard line. I believe Detroit was offside on the play. 9-yard pickup. Tackle made by Jerry Rush and Mike Lucci. Well, apparently we're pulled offside. It's against Cleveland. Back to the 25. 5-yard penalty. Backfield in motion. 1:13 remaining in the half. Hooker flank left. Moran out 2 at left end. Collins out 7 at right end. Nelson gives to Kelly on the draw. He's slammed down on about the 29-yard line by Lucci had a hand on it. And Bobby Williams, who's in now at the right corner, is one of the 6 defensive backs in there. Nelson throwing. Hooker's got it on the 33. 5-yard pickup on the play, and Dick LeBeau makes the stop. 48 seconds. He went out of bounds, stopping the clock. They'll mark at the 31-yard line. Now the Browns can afford the huddle.
Completion-wise, Bill is 5 out of 14 for 65 yards, but those 3 interceptions.
Collins flank right. Hooker out 5 to the left. Nelson to throw. Almost intercepted by Joe Robb, the defensive end, and he would have had a touchdown.
That's all we need.
He couldn't hang on to that ball. He was right in front of Nelson when he did it. Well, with about 4 minutes, about 4.5 minutes left in this half, the Browns were only trailing by 3 points.
At 6:28, you're right, and they didn't score till 4:02, Gibb.
Scored at 4:02, 2:44, and 1:34. Don Cockcroft now to do the punting for the Browns. High, beautiful kick. Lem Barney, fair catch, got it on the 23-yard line of Detroit. 46-yard punt, no return, mark at the 24-yard line, and the Lions offense moving out on the field. 37 seconds remaining in the first half. Next week, the Browns will go down to Miami. Cardinals are really nailing Philadelphia. It's 28-10 now. Miami is winning today. Walton is flanked to the left. Munson to throw. Flag down. Fires right sideline. Drop. Out at the right out of bounds mark by Earl McCullough. Appeared to be backfield in motion. Triplett changed his position in the backfield and did not appear to be stopped for that 1 second before the ball was snapped, and the referee's the man who threw the flag. It is backfield in motion, and the Browns decline it. They'll take the incompletion, 2nd and 10. 13 seconds remaining in the half. Walton is flanked to the right. McCullough is split 7 at left end. Well, Munson's hungry. He's going to throw it again. Left sidelines. McCullough's got it. Shoved out of bounds. At the 35. That stops the clock with 9 seconds remaining in the half. 11-yard pickup. First down, Detroit.
First down, on the line is 35. 9 seconds remaining in the half.
Don't have any scores of those 2 games in the Central Division, Pittsburgh and Houston, and Kansas City at Cincinnati yet.
Cincinnati, I think, is a 4 o'clock start.
It is?
Mm-hmm. Walton is flanked to the right. McCullough out 5 at left end. Munson to throw. There's a long bomb again, and this one is intercepted by Mike Howell, and he fell down. And we got a flag on the play. Hold on. We have a flag dropped. Interference has been called. I don't know who it's against. It can't be against Howell. There's nobody near him.
If it's against the Detroit Lions, they'll have another play, but apparently it isn't.
It's against Detroit, Jim, and the Browns have declined it to take the interception and end the half. And the gun sounds. That's the end of the first half with the score, the Lions 38, the Browns 14, and we'll be back with halftime sports in the second half of today's game after the news.
Don Cockcroft ready to give the ball to the Lions, and here to call the second half, Jim Shen.
Thank you, Jim. Don Cockcroft to kick to either Tom Vaughn or Nick Eddy. That's well hit. They're not going to do much with that one. Taken 8 yards deep in the end zone by Vaughn, and he will stay there, and the Lions put the ball in play at the 20. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens now in the second half. The Browns trailing by 24 points. It is not impossible. It is improbable. But the team can come back. We'll see in the manner in which they attack Detroit. And we should know shortly how they will go after them. Walton is flanked to the right. Hughes is split 5 yards at left end. Lions starting the second half at the 20. And the handoff comes to Taylor, right tackle, 28-yard line. Jim Houston on the tackle. Mike Howell helped on it. Fred Summers is in the ball game at safety, replacing Ernie Kellerman. Lions have second down and 2. Walton flank right, Hughes out 7 at left end. Sanders tight at right end. Hand off to Triplett, left tackle, slams over the 30 to the 31-yard line. Billy Andrews pulls him down. Shirk hit him from the side. It'll be a first down for Detroit on their own 31-yard line.
Mike Phipps and Don Galt warming up on the sideline. Now, looks like Mike Phipps, when the Browns get the ball, will be going in because he has his helmet on. He's over-talking the Nick Scorch now, but the idea is to get the ball back.
And Bill Nelson right now is sitting on the bench between Collins and Kelly. Double wing setup for Detroit. Triplett's the wing back to the left. Munson back to pass. Sets up. Drills one deep to Walton. Just overthrown at the Browns' 30-yard line with Summers covering on the play. Boy, Munson's trying to get rich. And you can't blame him.
Well, Gib, there's only one way to play the game. You have to play it to move the ball.
He's had success going deep to Walden, so he keeps it up. Second down, 10. Hughes will split 7 to the right. Walden flank to the left. Sanders out about a half yard at left end. On the draw, Triplett up the middle, 35, 39, and shoved back. Hit by Howell and by Summers. Houston helped on it, 8-yard pickup. It'll be third down and 2. Ends are in. 2 slot ends in the lineup for Detroit. Walden's a wing right. Give to Taylor, right tackle. First down, 45, 50. He almost broke it open. All the way down to the Browns' 45-yard line. Sumner and Barnes on the tackle. 16 yards and a first down. .25 to play, third quarter. Detroit has not given up the ball since the kickoff. Walden flank to the right. Hughes out 7 at left end. Munson to throw. Screen on the left flat to Triplett. At the 45, 40, breaks the tackle down to the 32-yard line. He was boxed in back on the 45. That's good for 13 yards.
Going to get a new middle linebacker, I think, Gib. Bob Matheson is checking in there. Notice he was talking to Dick Modulewski here for the last couple of plays.
Jim Houston has moved to the left side, and Dale Lindsey's coming out. So that's 2 changes now in the Browns' defensive unit. Walden's a slot right. Hughes a split right. Now Triplett becomes a wing to the left. Flip to Taylor. Left end, cuts inside, back outside. No gain. Knocked down on the 31. So he might have picked up a yard on the play. Billy Andrews making the tackle. 2nd and 9. Lions have had the ball now for 4 minutes. Move the ball from their 20 to the Cleveland 31. Third quarter, the Lions lead 38-14. Walden will be a slot right. Hughes splits about 20 yards to the right. Triplett again moves out as a wing back to the left. On the draw, Taylor up the middle, 30 to the 26-yard line. Tripped up by Houston. 5-yard pickup. Third down, 4 to go. Lions don't make it on this one. They'll go for the field goal. They've won already. Errol Mann hit one from the 51. Walden, flank left. Hughes out about 10 at right end. Taylor tight, Sanders tight at left end. Brown showing a blitz. Pass is dropped by Walden down on the 8-yard line with Sumner covering on the play. Munson got it just away before Matheson, the middle linebacker, got to him. Rasmussen in to do the holding for Errol Mann. It'll be a 34-yard attempt. .59 remaining, third quarter. Lions had it for 5 minutes. Snap, kicks up. It's good. There's an official timeout on the field with the score: the Lions 41, the Browns 14.
Never borrow money needlessly, but when you need to borrow, trust HFC.
Are you running into this problem now? Your paycheck has shrunk, less overtime, high prices, more deductions, but those monthly bills and installments are as big as ever. Maybe it's time to rearrange your finances with a bill payer loan from Household Finance. Pay everything, then have just one payment a month to Household that's small enough to handle comfortably. Make sense? Then see Household Finance now.
Never borrow money needlessly, but when you need to borrow, trust HFC.
That's Household Finance.
For a large or small loan, visit the household office nearest you. There are 18 offices in the Cleveland area. See your phone book for the addresses.
Mike Phipps on the sideline, ready to take over now, still conferring with Nick Skorich as Earl Mann is set to give the ball to the Browns for the first time in this half with a 27-point lead for the Lions. And we're liable to see a lot of unfamiliar faces as far as the starting unit is concerned once the Browns get the ball. We'll see.
Kick will be to Reese Morrison at the 1, 5, 10 right sideline, 15, 20, 25, 30, down on the 35, almost the 36-yard line. Mike Phipps, the quarterback now. 34-yard return. The rest of the lineup looks the same. Capel's the man who made that tackle. Let's see if Homer Jones, I think, is in the lineup. No, Collins is still in. Hooker is split 7 to the left. Collins flank to the right. Hand off to Kelly, right tackle, dives to the 39-yard line. He was knocked off his feet at the line. Wayne Walker's the man who knocked him off balance. That's a pickup of about 4, 2nd and 6.
Give a tribute to Bill Nelson is the fact that he is off the bench and standing on the sideline. He is not sulking, and he's not on the bench. He is up with the other players, standing up and right close to some of the assistant coaches.
Collins is a flanker to the right. Hooker moves out 4 yards left on the split. Morin on a yard at right end. Give to Bo Scott, trying to turn left end, trapped in the backfield, and lost back to the 34-yard line. Defensive play made by Rasmussen up from safety, and Dick LeBeau, the cornerback. Loss of 5. It'll be 3rd and 11. Well, the predicament is that the Browns have to start throwing the ball, and the Lions know they have to start throwing it. That's when things can even get worse. Now the Lions have 6 defensive backs on the field. 3rd and 11. Collins is flanked to the right. Hooker out 5, 6, 7 at left end. Morin splits 2 at right end. Mike Phipps to make his first pass. Caught by Morin at the 43, and a flag is dropped on the play. Pulled down on the 43. And we're getting a penalty against Detroit. Wager's the man who made the tackle. 8-yard pickup.
That's going to help because they didn't get the first down.
We're declining the penalty. No, not. Interference. Automatic first down. Ball on the 42-yard line. We'll get a break after this next play. So Phipps is 1 for 1. 7:59 to play. 3rd quarter. I beg your pardon. That was a penalty, not a completion. Collins flanked to the right. Give to Kelly, trying to turn the corner. He's to the 45, breaks a tackle to the 50, gets a block. He's to the 45 of the line, to the 40, and down. On the 36, a beautiful block by Fair Hooker, tackled by Barney and LeBeau. 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Cleveland Browns Football Network.
This is WHK 1420 Cleveland, inviting you to listen every day for the best in beautiful music, the latest news, and adult entertainment.
A 22-yard pickup for Kelly. He's up to 85 yards now. Collins flank right. They shift out of the eye. Morin out a yard at right end. Hooker out 4 at left end. Give to Kelly again, trying to turn the corner. He's caught in the backfield, and he lost back to the 38-yard line. They have a flag drop back on the 35-yard line. Newmoff made the tackle, along with Lucci. Milt Morin is coming out. Chip Glass to replace him, probably carrying a play, and the Browns are going to get, I think, 15 yards. That is. That goes back to the Cleveland 46. And that will be for tripping. We're halfway through the 3rd quarter already. The only scoring is a Detroit field goal. First down for the Browns. About 27 to go. Hooker flanks far to the left. Collins out 7 to the right. Phipps sprinting left to throw. It's caught by Glass on the Detroit 40 to the 30 to the 25, and he's down on the 19-yard line. Chip Glass. 34 yards. Rasmussen and Mooney made the tackle, and Walker, rather. Oh, he was really open on that one.
He sure was. He was wide open at the about the 35-yard line of Detroit. Now he comes out, and Milt Morin goes back in.
Ball just inside the 20-yard line. But the Browns have a big job ahead of them.
They're calling the plays for Mike.
Collins flank right. Hooker out 7 to the left. Give to Kelly, left tackle. He's to the 15-yard line. Pickup of about 5. Tackle by Larry Hand. The Browns fans are yelling. They want the ball thrown a lot more, but that's what Detroit's waiting for, of course. The Browns want to run as much as they can to loosen up the defense, if possible. 2nd and 5 on the 15.
Bill Nelson and Milt Morin standing right next to Nick Skorich and Blanton Collier now. Glass is back in there with the play.
Hooker will split right. Collins slot right. And Glass is out 2 at left end. Tips. Hands off to Kelly. He's trapped in the line on the draw. Lost on the play to the 17-yard line. Robb on the tackle, and the Lions really smelled that one. Joe Robb was right on Kelly's back. 3rd and 7. Morin back in, replacing Glass.
Now the question is, Gib, if they don't pick up the first down here, what do? I would imagine they would go for the score. Or the first down rather than try a field goal.
And I would think you're right. Collins flank right. Morin out 2 to the right. Hooker split 5 at left end. Phipps to throw. In the middle. Dropped, almost intercepted by Rasmussen at the 5, intended for Morin. Rasmussen had the ball as he fell. He knocked it out of his hand. It's 4th down. The Browns are going for the first down or the touchdown.
So now if they do go for a short pass, a sideline pattern, or perhaps a hooker just over the middle, they have got to realize that the receiver has to realize that he has to step over the 10-yard line to get that first down, or they'll give up the ball.
Collins will flank right. Glass out 2 to the right. Hooker out about 7 at left end. Mike Phipps back to throw. Fires. That's intercepted by Weger again on the 7-yard line, and he's pulled down out on the 12. Mike Weger with his 2nd interception. That's the 4th one for Detroit today. There's an official timeout on the field with the score: the Lions 41, the Browns 14. Good styling is one reason more Clevelanders buy Chevrolets than any other car. And to show you how important style is, here are some facts based on opinions of a large group of Chevy owners. People from all parts of Cleveland who were interviewed by the Good Sports Chevy dealers. Now, in this group were a number of people whose previous car was not a Chevy, and 22% of them said a major reason they switched to Chevy was its looks. They like Chevy's lines, colors, styling, inside and out. These people wanted a good-looking car this time, and Chevy had the look they like best. So when you're thinking about a new car, one that looks as good as it performs, take a look at a Chevy. A good long look. The kind of look you'll get when you're driving one. And remember, it's year-end sales time. A great time to save at Chevy. Yes, it's a fact. When you see your Good Sports Chevy dealer, you win big.
That was a 55-yard pass from Starr to Williams as Green Bay came up with a touchdown against L.A. and now trail L.A. 14, Green Bay 7. 4 minutes, about 4.5 left in the third period.
Don't forget the Grambling Jackson State College game here next Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and tickets on sale at all the Browns ticket agencies. Lions starting play on the 12-yard line. They have a slot right, and now triplets a wing back to the left. Handoff, Taylor, left tackle, chopped down at the 13 for a pickup of a yard. Jerry Shirk and Billy Andrews on the stop. They'll give him the No, 13. 1 yard, 2nd and 9.
On the 13, 2nd and 9.
Only scoring in this third quarter so far is a field goal by Detroit. Lions had 24 points in the third quarter. In less than a 3-minute span, 21 of them. Walton is flanked to the right. Hughes splits 5 at left end. Munson hands off. Triplett is nailed. Taylor, rather, is nailed. They'll give him about the 14 on his forward progress. Walter Johnson threw him back on the 10. So it's 3rd and 8. Of course, now Detroit is taking as much time as possible, running it as often as they can. 3:30 remaining, third quarter. Walton, flanked right. Hughes out 5 to the left. Munson, hands off. Taylor turning right in. 16 down on the 16-yard line. Erich Barnes made the play. The Lions will have to punt. I wouldn't be surprised, Gib, after this third period is over and they get into the fourth period with a 24-point lead, that soon Joe Schmidt would probably go with Greg Landry. Tom Shane and Walt Sumner, the safeties. Herman Weaver to do the punting, standing at the 1. Shane's back on the 40 of the Browns. Shane under the kick, got it on the 45. Head for the right sidelines, and he's nailed for a loss. Back on the 43. Mooney made the tackle. 39-yard repunt, -2 on the return. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, Detroit 41, Cleveland 14.
WHK thanks you for joining us for another Cleveland Browns broadcast. We realize that some of you listen to WHK only for the Browns game, and we're happy to have you. But how about keeping your dial at 1420 after today's game? Ronnie Barrett will be with you right after Locker Room Report. He'll also be here on WHK tomorrow morning and every morning between 5 and 10. Then there's Ted Halliman, Frank McHale, Bill Collins, and Jack Reynolds throughout the day, all playing music we think you'll enjoy. Tune in before the Browns games on Sunday, and you'll hear Joe Black with his famous Journey into Melody. Throughout the day, you'll hear complete local and world news with Ken Hildebrand, Tim Taylor, Marv Boone, Bob Anderson, Dennis Buckle, and the Dean of City Hall reporters, Milo Towns. And there's Sidney Andorn with his penetrating commentary on the news every evening at 6:30. Plus sports reports and race results daily with Gib Shanley and Don Calo. And don't forget the Monday morning quarterback, Bill Nelson. Enjoy today's game, but when it's over, as they used to say on radio, don't touch that dial. Leave it on WHK 1420.
Please report to the mound. First down, 10, Browns on the
On the 43-yard line, the Browns have it now. Mike Phipps remains in the ball game. Nelson over on the sideline talking to Ernie Kellerman and Mike Howell. All right, we have Homer Jones now in the ball game. He's split left. Hooker flanked right. Phipps to throw. He throws. It is caught by Hooker down on the Detroit 42-yard line. Tackled by Newmoff. 15-yard pickup. Browns first down. Boy, and there was a mix-up in the backfield on that as the two running backs, Scott and Kelly, collided as they went up to set up their blocking assignments to protect Mike Phipps. They ran into each other, but he was able to get it off for the pickup down to the 42. Hooker is flanked right. Homer Jones splits 4 at left end. Morin tight on the right side. Phipps hands to Kelly. Right tackle, no hole, swings outside. No running room at all. Chopped down at the 41-yard line by Newmoff. By Wager. Pickup of a yard, 2nd and 9. Chip Glass coming in now with a play. Minute and a half remaining, third quarter. Reese Morrison is running out on the field for Bo Scott, who seems to be limping. And he comes over to Dr. Vic Ippolito. Looks like his left knee. That's the one that he had banged up out in San Francisco, and the doctor's taking a look at it right now. Here's a handoff to Kelly, left tackle. There's a hold to the 35, hurdles a man to the 30 to the 29-yard line. Rasmussen on the tackle, 12-yard pickup. There's a tribute to
a fine football player, Jim. His team is trailing by 27 points, and he's running as hard as he can.
I was just going to mention that. Oh, he hasn't stopped a bit, hasn't given up a bit. How much is it, Gib?
83-577. Another 16 games in a row now. We've been over
Somewhere
80.
in there, I believe it's 16, Gib.
31 seconds to play in the third quarter. Jones is flying to the left. Hooker split 5 to the right. Tips with a blitz on. Throws a screen on the left flat to Morrison. He's to the 30. He's to the 20. To the 15. Reese to the 10. Flag down. Back on the 25. And he's tackled down on the 6-yard line. 22-yard pickup. We have a flag dropped back at the 25. Rob on the tackle. It appears to be against the Browns. It's against Cleveland. Boy, it was a perfect play call against. They threw a screen left, and the linebacker from out in that area was blitzing, and he was completely out of the play. Here's a 15-yarder. From the 29 out to the 44-yard line. Offensive interference. That must be difficult to do on a screen pass. You wonder how you have offensive interference on a screen pass.
Well, I suppose anybody could be caught for it, couldn't it?
I wouldn't think anybody else is out. Possible. Hooker is the flanker to the right. They have 6 defensive backs in there for Detroit now. And Phipps back to throw. Fires in the middle. Caught or dropped by Glass. Almost deflected into his hands by Uyghur at the 31-yard line. Mike also almost picked off his third of the game. The Browns have had 4 passes intercepted today. Here's Morrison coming out. And Bo Scott is back in. Milt Morin's coming on now with a play. Second down coming. 25 to go. Have to get to the 19-yard line for a first down. 10 seconds remaining in the half. I'm sorry, third quarter. Hooker flank right. Jones out 4 at left end. Morin out 2 at right end. Phipps is hit. He gets away. Now he's down back on the Browns' 42-yard line. Everybody was covered. He was hit then by hand, and I think Rob is the other man on it. 14-yard loss. He started to throw and saw his man covered and had to hold on to the ball. That's when he got hit. Last coming back on with a play. That'll be the last play of the period. There's the gun. That's the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Lions 41, the Browns 14.
Maybe you haven't noticed, but more Clevelanders drive Chevrolets than any other car. Now, most of these people always buy Chevy, but quite a few switched over to Chevy because of money. More to the point, because they got more for their money. The Good Sports Chevy dealers talked with a group of Chevy owners. They found that getting $1's worth of value for every dollar invested is a big reason why people pick Chevy. For example, 35% of the people whose last car was a Chevy got another one because they knew they were getting a lot of car for the money. By the same token, 29% of the people whose last car was not a Chevy switched over for the same reason. More car for the money. So regardless of what car you're driving, when you start thinking about a new one, see your Good Sports Chevy dealer. He has the car you really want at a price you can afford, especially now during his year-end clearance sale. Yes, it's a fact. When you see your Good Sports Chevy dealer, you win big.
It's third down. Big yardage to go for the Browns as we start the fourth period. 41-14, the Lions on top. The Browns, even with a defeat, will be in first place even if Houston defeats Pittsburgh this afternoon, because the Browns went into this game with a 1-game lead. They would be 3-2, and Houston, with a win over the Steelers, could be 3-2.
About 37 yards to go for a first down on this play. Hooker is slot right, and Homer Jones is split right. Tips back to throw. A long one. Intercepted by Barney on the 18 to the 20, the 25, the 30, the 40. He's to the 50, to the Browns 45, and Homer Jones knocks him down on the Browns 43, a 39-yard return. The Lions have 5 pass interceptions. Chip Glass is shaking up on the play. Now he's moving off the field.
And having a shot at Barney was Mike Phipps.
See if the Lions have made any changes. Triplett is in the ball game. Munson's still the quarterback. Walton is flank left. Hand off. Comes to Taylor, swinging around left end. 40, 35, 30, 25 out of bounds, flag down. Howell got him out of bounds on about the 22. We have a flag dropped, however. Bill Triplett has been caught using his hands. 22-yard run.
He had him wrapped around Walt Sumner. Taylor made a nice move to elude Sumner, but I think Walt would have had him because they're taking it right from the spot where Triplett had kind of enveloped Walt with his arms, and it's back now to their own 49-yard line from the 36.
They show clipping. He didn't look like a clip, did he?
Well,
Cut him right up in his Sumner's chest.
of course, you know, Gib, you can clip right in the back. I mean, you don't have to be at the base of the back or the back of the knees. You can clip right in the upper back.
I understand, but he showed the block on Sumner when he was talking to Triplett about his block.
Mm-hmm.
Walton is flanked right. Hughes out 5 to the left. Oop. Whistles blow. Browns appeared to make contact in the line. Matheson was showing a blitz. And Snido jumped. That'll cost the Browns 5 to the Cleveland 46.
Bob may have hit the center Flanagan.
Well, now it's first down and 13 to go. Now Hughes will be split right by about 10. Walton's a slot back to the right. Sanders out about a half yard. Now moves in tight at left end. Munson back to throw. He's hit. Gets away. He's hit again. Ball squirts up in front of him and is grabbed by one of the linemen, I believe. They show the Browns have recovered the ball.
Maybe the Browns intercepted that.
Be interesting to know if that's a penalty, if it's a fumble or interception, but they show the Browns have the ball. Freitas. Well, now they show Detroit has the ball.
He certainly, one of those officials certainly gave the indication that it was the Browns' ball, and the offense started to go on the field, and now here comes Fred Hoagland. The rest of them back.
I see they call Cleveland, then they call Detroit with the ball. And they only have 2 chances, Jim.
Apparently, it's simply an incompleted pass. That's what it is.
Well, wait a minute. The ball is now back on the 45-yard line, though. That's a 9-yard loss. Well,
Can't be an incompleted pass then.
Triplett is their wing left. They have a double wing. Handoff. Taylor, he's caught at the line. Dropped right at the 44-yard line. Shirk and Matheson on the stop. He may have lost a yard on the play. Third down. 21, 2, 3 yards to go. Have to get into the 33 of Cleveland. Walton is the flanker to the right. Hughes splits out about 8 at left end. Bill Munson back to throw. He's hit. He's running with it up the middle. 40, 45, 50. Billy Andrews knocks him down on the Cleveland 45-yard line. The rush went right past Munson by both tackles. An 11-yard run. Munson has his helmet knocked off. Now he's getting up. And it'll be 4th down. Errol Mann is going to try another long field goal. He made one from the 51 earlier. 51 yards away, rather. He's going to try now 53 yards. Mike Howell back in single safety. Rasmussen will hold. Kicks up. That one's a little short. Oh, Arrowman missed one. And there is an official timeout on the field. With the score, the Lions 41, the Browns 14.
In Canada. See your phone book for the one nearest you.
First down to the Browns on the Cleveland 20.
Miami now leads Buffalo by 27-14 score. The Browns on their own 20 out of the huddle.
High formation with Hooker flanked to the right. Homer Jones splits 5 yards at left end. Morin's out 2 at right end. Mike Phipps back to throw. Screen on the left. Bo Scott at the 15. He's to the 20. Bo to the 25, to the 30, to the 35. He's to the 40 and down on the 44-yard line. That's good for 24, big ones. Mike Phipps to Bo Scott on the screen. Tackled by Rasmussen and Barney. Glass into the play. Leroy Kelly has 101 yards already, 20 carries. Hooker will flank right. Homer Jones out 4 at left end. Glass tight at right end. Give to Kelly, right tackle. Knocked down at the 49-yard line. A pickup of about 5. Joe Robb made the tackle. Milt Morin coming into the play. Say one thing, Jim. The Browns were trailing 38-14 at the half and have not let the Lions at least run them out of the ballpark in the second half.
That's right. They have it. And we get a chance to, perhaps we're rationalizing here, but I get a chance to see this young quarterback from Purdue. I've seen very little action this year.
He's 4 for 8 right now, 66 yards, but he's had 2 intercepted. Hooker flanked to the right, and Homer Jones splits 7 at left end. Phipps rolls right, fires, caught by Morin on the 39 to the 37 of the Lions. Rasmussen on the tackle. That's good for 14 yards. Newmoff helped on the stop. Glass coming back into the play.
As you mentioned, Gib, that it's extremely tough now being behind by so many points to pass into a team that knows that you've got to go up the air because you're never going to score 4 touchdowns staying on the ground. So his job is doubly hazardous as far as being able to complete passes. He had Morin going on the short side and Hooker deep in that particular area.
Jones flanked to the left. Give to Kelly, trying to turn the corner. He's in trouble, and he's down back on the 40, about a 3-yard loss. Lions stacked that play up. Larry Hand led the tackling. Mike Lucci helped on it. We have 10 minutes, 5 seconds remaining in the ball game, and the New York Jets are coming back. They're now trailing only 26-19.
Namath Bell for a 17-yard play, and Boozer scored on a 1-yard plunge, so it's 26-19 as you mentioned.
That's now at the end of third quarter. Second down, 13 to go here for the Browns on the 40 of Detroit. Jones flank left, Hooker out 7 to the right. Fake handoff, Phipps, whoop, in blitz, down. Blitz by Newmoff. The left linebacker hitting back on the 49-yard line. A 9-yard loss.
The end of 3 quarters, Baltimore 26, the Jets 19.
Chip Glass coming into the play. Third down.
Give you an idea how these fans like their football, Gib. I've noticed just a few of them filing out, but my goodness, it looks like about 80 out of the 83,000 still sitting tight with less than 10 minutes left in the ball game.
3rd and 21, and the Lions have their 6 defensive backs on the field. Hooker will flank right. Jones out 5 to the left. Glass out 2 to the right. Phipps to throw. He's running up the middle. 45 of Detroit. Stiff arm. one of the lines and then gets belted by a fist down on the bottom of there. That's from Bobby Williams. Nobody saw the fist, I guess. Phipps gave him a stiff arm, and as Williams got him down, he let him have one in the side of the helmet with his fist. It's fourth down. About 14 to go. The Browns are going to punt. I beg your pardon, they're going for a field goal. Oh, a little late getting Al Jenkins on the field. Now he's out. It'll be a 47-yarder. Here's the kick. It is good. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Lions 41, the Browns 17.
Saturday, October 24th. It's Spectacular 70 at Cleveland Stadium. Spectacular college football. Grambling versus Jackson State.
I appreciate good, tough football. There's going to be good, tough football in Cleveland on October 24th when Grambling meets Jackson State. Those two colleges are known as the birthplaces of the pros, and I meet their graduates almost every weekend. Come to the stadium on October 24th. I'll be there. I'm Dick Shaffrath.
Some of the most famous pro football players of today played for Grambling and Jackson State, and this is an opportunity for Cleveland fans to see the pro football stars of tomorrow as Grambling College of Louisiana plays Jackson State of Mississippi at 4 o'clock Saturday, October 24th at Cleveland Stadium. This classic college football game is sponsored by the Black Economic Union. Advance tickets are on sale now at Bob Coolman Oldsmobile, Spitzer Ford, Sears, Rayjack Record Mart, and Blue Chip.
What a way to... The ticker tape says that it doesn't say how long. It just says Warfield scored on a long pass from Greasy. Yepremian hit on a 47-yard field goal, and it's now 30-14 Miami over Buffalo. Carl Tassif, formerly with John Carroll University, is here scouting the Browns for Miami. And the kick is going to Vaughn. 3 yards deep, coming out, 10. Right side lines. Oop, gets a good block at the 20 and then gets knocked down. And a flag, I think. May have been a clip back there. That good block I thought I saw. Eddie. And that was on Al Jenkins, and it looked like it could go either way, although he was late in throwing the flag. Ken Brown was a man who was clipped. So they'll take it back to the 11 while we're waiting. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Cleveland Browns Football Network.
This is WHK 1420 Cleveland, where Browns quarterback Bill Nelson is your Monday morning quarterback, 8 to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Greg Landry, the quarterback now for the Detroit Lions. Ball on the 11-yard line. Landry hands the ball to Nick Eddy over left tackle. Whoop, he almost got away. Hit at the 15 and bounced out to the 20-yard line. Finally pulled down by Erich Barnes. That's a 9-yard pickup. Joe Jones in at left end for the Browns now. The only change in the front four. The only change in the defense right now. McCullough is in there as they split end. He's split right now by 5 yards. Craig Cotton is in there. He is flanked to the left. Whoop. Handoff comes to Triplett, and he is banged down for a loss by Walter Johnson back on the 4th. We'll make it the 19. So a yard loss on the play. Joe Jones helped on it. 3rd and 2 now. Ball in the Detroit 19. 6:45 remaining. Detroit leading 41-17. Lions have the ends in tight, and Cotton is a wing left. Hand off to Eddy, and he did not get over left tackle at all as Billy Andrews sneaked in to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Fourth down, Lions will punt.
Fourth down, 3.
Even lost a half yard on that one. Weaver to punt for Detroit. Shane is the deeper of the two safeties now for the Browns. Sumner's up about 15 yards in front of him. High spiral. Shane going back. Got it on the 31. Heads for the right sidelines. Can't get the block, and he's chopped down. Back on the 30. Pretty good hit, too, by Charlie Brown. 50-yard punt. And about a -1 on the return. Well, the Browns have still everybody in there. Homer Jones is the replacement for Gary Collins, who has the tender ribs from last week's game. Gary played most of the day. Now the fans starting to move out. 5.5 minutes remaining. Both ends are split. Hooker is flanked out to the right. Tips the throw. Hooker dropped the ball, and he's hit hard at the 38-yard line. He's down now, he's getting up slowly. Barney's a man who chopped him at the legs while Hooker was in the air. Collins comes on the field and tells Hooker to move out for a few minutes, take a breather. Browns led 7-0 first quarter. Then a Detroit interception made it 7-7, and the Lions were on the move.
Something positive, Yip. The Barons are leading Montreal 1-0.
Hooker on the sidelines. Collins replaced him, is now split 5 to the right. Homer Jones flanked to the left. Phipps throw a screen, incomplete. That was almost intercepted by Jerry Rush, the tackle. Cole Scott, the intended receiver. 3rd and 10. Phipps is now 5 for 11. Chip Glass replacing Morin. Hooker is flanked to the right. Glass out a yard at the right end. Homer Jones split 7 at left end. Tips back in the pocket. Drills it deep in the middle. Caught by Glass. 50, 45 Detroit, 40, 35 down on the 30-yard line of the Lions. Beautiful pattern by Glass, and Phipps laid it right on the money. Rasmussen made the tackle. That's a 40-yard pickup. Phipps is now up to 120 yards passing. Nelson was only 65. We only have now 4:35 remaining in the game. Browns on the 30. Hooker back in the lineup is flanked to the right. Glass is out of there. Morin replacing him. Hand off to Kelly, trapped in the backfield, trying to get a yard, and that's about it, if that much. Yep, to about the 28. Still Mike Lucci on the tackle. Walker helped on it.
The Eagles, still winless, are trailing the Cardinals 35-13 in the fourth period. Looks like they'll end up with an 0-5 record. San Diego and the Bears. San Diego, the only other team without a victory. 7-7 at halftime.
Homer Jones will flank left. Chip Glass tight at left end. Bear Hooker's out 5 at right end. Phipps being blitzed. He throws a screen out in the right flat and throws it away rather than get it intercepted. Lions had it covered very well, as Uyghur had dropped out, and Jim Mitchell, the rookie defensive left end, also drifted out in that area and had the play covered. So it'll be 3rd down, about 8.5 to go. Morin coming in with the play. Hooker flanked right. Jones split left. Phipps throwing in the middle. Caught by Morin, down on the 15-yard line. Wager pulled him down. That's good for 13 more. First and 10. Chip Glass coming out with a play. Nelson in the first half today had 6 out of 16, but he had 3 intercepted. Three minutes, 7 seconds remaining. Homer Jones and Chip Glass, both ends split. Hooker is flanked to the right. Flip to Kelly, turning left end. He's knocked down on about the 12. The Lions had a blitz from Mike Lucci in the middle. Mike ran in there, and there's nobody around him, so he just stood. LeBeau made the tackle, picked up 3, 2nd and 7.
They were in there so fast, they almost intercepted that flip.
109 yards for Kelly. Homer Jones will be split 7 to the left. Hooker's flanked to the right. Morin's out about 2 at right end. Phipps fakes the handoff, rolls out the throw. He's hit. He's going to run. Now he's still running. Phipps to the 10, 5, Phipps to the 3-yard line. And the tackle made by Wayne Walker and Dick LeBeau. Timeout called. I don't know who took the timeout, but they stopped the clock. Oh, 2-minute warning. There's an official timeout on the field. The score, the Lions 41, the Browns 17.
You are winning all the time.
Look around. There's probably a beer drinker next to you enjoying an ice-cold Duke beer. Look at the rich, creamy color, bubbling with natural beer flavor. The cold, right-now taste of Duke is pure beer drinking pleasure. Tell the crowd to move over. There's always room for another Duke drinker. Be a winner. Try a Duke.
It's a winner all the time. It's a winner all the time.
Do you really like a good lager beer but worry about too many calories? Your worries are over with Brew 96, a light lager beer that will satisfy your beer thirst and watch your weight. Only 96 good-tasting calories per 12-ounce bottle. That's 1/3 less calories than our regular beer. Now, when you pick up a 6-pack of Brew 96, you've only slipped off your diet a little.
All right, Browns first and goal to go on the 3-yard line. Game is out of reach naturally and has been for the entire fourth period. But the Browns moving with Mike Phipps in there at quarterback has gone all of the second half.
Ball on the 3, first down and goal to go. Bo Scott hitting right tackle, touchdown. .157 remaining on the Browns score. That's the first touchdown in this second half by either team. Up to now, we've had just field goals in the second half.
Unusual-looking scoreboard with 21 points in the first period and 31 in the second, and then just 3 in the third and 3 in the fourth up until this touchdown.
Phipps holding. Don Cockcroft to attempt the point. Snap is high, kicks up, it's good. So the score now is the Lions 41, the Browns 24, and time for just a couple of series, and that'll be it. Next week, the Browns will be in Miami.
Down in the Orange Bowl in Miami, and Don Shula has his team on the move, as you know, coming up with a fine team with the help of Paul Warfield. And Miami shows a record of 3-1 going into this afternoon, and they're leading over Buffalo. And then the Browns come home against San Diego. Then they go out to Oakland, and November 15th, they go to Oakland after San Diego, don't they? November 8th?
No, I got it right. I think you're right.
Yeah. They go to Oakland and then go to Cincinnati on November 15th.
Nick Eddy is the lone safety man, and the Browns try the onside. It's grabbed by one of the Lions. Is Paul Newmoff, and he's tackled at the Browns' 47-yard line by Mike Howell. Don Cockcroft also. Mike will be with me tomorrow night at Pat Joyce's on the green at 6 o'clock. Hope you'll be able to join us. Well, the Browns, as Jim told you, will remain at least in the tie for first in their division after this game, or after this day. And the Lions will run out the clock as much as possible now. Landry, the quarterback. Eddie and Triplett with running backs. Triplett right tackle. 45 and knocked down at about the 43-yard line of the Browns. And the Browns will call time to stop the clock. 41-24 the score.
Means that the Browns will be 1-8 against the Detroit Lions. If you believe in Texas or what have you, been able to defeat this ball club only once. That was their last championship year of 1964. All right, here's the final. Miami 33 and Buffalo 14. Miami now shows a 4-1 mark. Up until going into this afternoon's action, as we mentioned, 11 teams had identical records of 3-1. You know, next year they're liable to give Don Shula all the interest in that ball club. He's done a remarkable job, hasn't he? But they had to have something. They had to have something because you just don't hire a new head coach and come on so strongly as he has. I'll be anxious to see this Bob Greasy. I haven't seen him since he's been a pro. Have you, Gib? No, I haven't. Not at all. I'm not sure some of these defenses are seeing him either. I tell you, people, you know, looking at the Browns' schedule, thought, well, Miami, you've got to reasonably assume they can beat Miami, reasonably assume they can beat Denver, and so forth. There's nothing sure on the Browns' schedule anymore. They're going to have to struggle with everybody. 2nd and 6 for Detroit. 1:22 remaining. McCullough is split 7 to the left. Cotton is flanked to the right. And off Eddie, he's hit at the line and pulled down over left guard at the 42-yard line, rather, by Jerry Shirk and Billy Andrews. Timeout, Cleveland. 3rd down and a 5 to go. 1:16 remaining. Let's see, Detroit had a three-way tie with their 3-1 record. Green Bay and Minnesota. Green Bay is getting beaten. And let's see, where are the Vikings? Vikings, too, were 3-1. Charlie Brown is the flanker to the left now for Detroit. McCullough split out to the right, and Eddie now moves out as a slot right. Landry's going to throw it. Right sideline, caught by McCullough. He stopped at the 29 and thrown down out of bounds by Eric Barnes. 13-yard pickup. That'll be a first down, and means Detroit can hold on now for the rest of the time. I'm talking about the Vikings. They're home to the Dallas Cowboys this afternoon. They, too, were 3-1. 47 seconds remaining. The clock's running. Brown is flanked to the left. McCullough split 5 to the right. Landry gives to Eddie, left tackle. Fumbled it at the 26, picked up by Summer, but the whistle blows. Jets, with a 42-yard field goal by Turner, are now within 7 points of Baltimore. That's got to be late in the 4th period, however. It's 29-22. Clock is running at 10 seconds. That was a 3-yard pickup for Eddie. The whistle, the official blew the ball dead before the fumble. There's the gun. That's the end of today's game with the final score, the Lions 41, the Browns 24.
Hi, this is Ronnie. Speaking for my side bird, Grin Breckenridge, the minor bird.
Hi.
Welcoming you any morning you can make it between 5 and 10 on WHK. Some people do have a hard time getting up. While others are full of vim and vigor.
My tongue is asleep, and my teeth itch.
But no matter. We keep you informed and entertained with the latest news, weather, sports, and traffic information, plus beautiful music and a continuing festive festival of comedic comedy and hilarious hilarity.
I'm probably the only living husband that wins an argument with his wife. When we argue, I cry first.
Hendren whistles at the pretty girls and makes his choice of the day's races at the Big T. It's a lot of fun and fluff, with just the right amount of serious information to get you balanced for another day. Monday through Friday, 5 to 10 a.m. Grin and Barrett on WHK.
Well, the attendance today was good, 83,577. The weather was perfect to watch and play a football game. But little else was right for supporters of the Cleveland Browns, as the Browns lost their second game of the season, and today wiped out 41-24, as all the trouble came in the second quarter, when within a little more than 2 minute span, the Lions scored 3 touchdowns. 2 touchdown passes by Munson, and 1 pass intercepted and run in for a touchdown by Mike Weger, and that was all she wrote. Our thanks today to our spotters, Dennis Safier and Harry Leach, and our statistician, Dick Goddard.
Listen for all the excitement and color of football. It's the greatest show in professional football. It's the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns football has been brought to you by the Duquesne Brewing Company, makers of Duke Beer, the finest beer in town. By Household Finance. Remember, if you need money for any worthwhile purpose, see the folks at HFC, America's oldest and largest consumer finance company. And by the 17 members of the Metropolitan Chevrolet Dealers Association, your good sports Chevy dealers.
Every division race is tight in this season of upsets, but the most basic confrontation is developing in football's most basic division. With awesome displays of strength, the brutes of the Central Division, Minnesota and Detroit, moved 1 step closer to their November 1st collision.
Coach Joe Schmidt brought his Lions to Cleveland and immediately began worrying about their health. After 3 robust wins, the Lions had fallen ill against Washington, and now they would have to recover in the hostile environment of Cleveland's Municipal Stadium. The Lions began the game as if they were ready to rest in peace. Number 16, Bill Nelson, has made a career out of killing his opponents with their own mistakes. Gary Collins, number 86, has made a career out of beating defensive backs to the post position. Cleveland had a quick advantage, and the next time they touched the ball, their yardage man was turned loose. Number 44, Leroy Kelly, blasted over the groping Lion defense, and Cleveland could sense the kill. Nelson called a screen pass to finish the Lions off for good. With the defense recuperating so quickly, the Lion offense began responding.